Continuing from the previous episode 880. Xuanling City is the territory of the Medusa clan. Sasha. The golden desert looked extremely dazzling under the breeze, but in this dazzling golden desert, it was full of dangers. Beneath the golden desert, the Hall of Medusa. Today is the day when the new king of our Medusa clan ascends the throne. The one who spoke was the Shefu, who now has a prominent position in the Medusa clan. Shefu's prestige among the 9 major tribes of the Medusa clan can be described as a call to the heights. No, with Nudong's rebellion, the Avengers tribe has been removed, and at this time there are only the 8 major tribes of the Medusa family. Old Snake, you've worked hard. In the purple crystal hall, Medusa sat on the amethyst throne, and her beautiful eyes glanced at a group of strong people below. Sitting below is the leader of the 8 major tribes of the Medusa family. The queen has been conditioning her breath since she left the temple of Medusa. I don't know how she is doing now. The blue and white snake on the side said slightly. After the blue and white snake was seriously injured by Qin Tian's group, its strength regressed to the level of a 9-star Do-D, and the blue and white snake has since resigned from all positions and followed Queen Medusa with peace of mind. And this so-called Queen Medusa is actually Cailin. Cailin sat in the first place, looked around with her beautiful eyes, and then said indifferently, "Yes." Now the strength has been consolidated. If you want to make a breakthrough, I'm afraid it will take a lot of time. As soon as Cailin's voice filled the sky with killing intent, this killing intent was obviously aimed at Ma Wei, the powerful man sitting below. What a powerful strength! The leaders of the 8 tribes below heard the words, and their eyes became strange. Old Snake, this little doll from nowhere, whose identity is unknown. Although we have obtained the inheritance of our Medusa temple, it is not clear. It makes us surrender to her. It seems a little. One of the leaders of the 8 tribes couldn't help but said. It was the Snake King in the Snake King tribe who spoke up, and his strength had reached the level of a 4-turn 9-star Do Emperor. He, this Snake King, isn't he still reconciled? Mei Lan said on the side. Charm Lan, among the 8 major tribes, the leader of the Charm Snake tribe, the 8-star Do-D has perfection-level strength. Snake King, what's your opinion? Shefu lowered his head slightly after hearing this. The Snake King was seen by Shefu, and suddenly an extremely tyrannical suppression came. Half-immortal. The Snake King also knew that Shefu was a half-immortal, so he said with a little difficulty. Old Snake, don't worry, I can handle it. Cailin said slightly to Shefu at this time. Qingyan, Qin Yi, wait for me, the 2 of you. Cailin said tenderly to the 2 little guys behind her purple throne. Sister Cailin, be careful. Qing Yan and Qin Yi said worriedly when they heard the words. Qing Yan was naturally the woman with the 3 flowered eyes that were vital to the Medusa clan, while Qin Yi, the proud son of the Medusa clan, also possessed the same ability to swallow the sky as Cailin. The 3-color swallowing python with python blood. This crazy woman. Seeing this, the Snake King couldn't help saying as he watched Cailin walking towards him step by step. Cailin's figure is extremely enchanting, and in that figure that can be called a devil, there is an invisible power to kill. Snake King, do you have any objections to me? Cailin slightly came to the garden-shaped stone table of the 8 major tribes and spoke slowly. No. With Cailin's prestige at such a close distance, the Snake King suddenly lost his prestige. I got the inheritance in the temple of Medusa, and I promised that senior something, so I have to provoke this lead. If I didn't need this power, I'm afraid it's none of my business whether you live or die. Cailin stared at the 8 leaders present with a serious expression and said. So, I don't care what the Medusa clan was like before me. Now, as the queen of the entire Medusa clan, you must obey me unconditionally. Cailin didn't bother to talk nonsense with these people, and directly fought herself. Immortal's breath and 10-color swallowing python's breath were released. Pop! A series of puffs made the 8 leaders who were present immediately kneel and worship Cailin. Among the beasts, blood and strength are always the best means of making people surrender. Snake King, do you understand? At the next moment, Cailin exuded an extremely terrifying aura, directly forcing the Snake King. Among the 8 chiefs, only the Snake King was extremely proud of his own strength, and Cailin naturally knew how to deal with him. Fighting a mortal powerhouse, and it's a 10-colored swallowing python with such a pure bloodline. The Snake King's breath fluctuated violently, and then he looked at Cailin and said word by word. Understood. Facing the strength of Queen Medusa Cailin, the 8 leaders could only speak. But don't worry, since I have decided to be the king of the Medusa family, I will not treat you badly. The 8 of you will be able to at least reach half immortal strength in the future, but whether you can break through fighting immortals depends on your fortune. Seeing the agreement of the 8 people, Cailin immediately walked towards her amethyst throne and returned to the throne. Don't forget to say, half immortal? Facing what Queen Medusa said, all the 8 people present were staring at the stars. For the Medusa clan, it is extremely difficult to directly improve their strength. Don't look at these leaders now that many 8-star Do emperors have been successful or even 9-star Do emperors, but to break through a small level, I am afraid it will take hundreds of years. Time what the queen said, we are naturally willing to follow. As Queen Medusa finished speaking, different expressions flashed in the pupils of the 8 people. The reason why the Medusa clan was expelled into this *** desert is largely because the 8 tribes are independent. If they unite the 8 tribes, it is very likely to defeat the Xuanling royal family and obtain a place more suitable for them to live. Moreover, their strength, the Queen Medusa who follows the strength of Do Xian, will also be greatly improved. These 8 people are naturally understanding people, and it is only a powerful relationship among them for a while. Now that it's decided, it's time for our Medusa family to rectify it. Snake King, pass my order. Unknown or suspicious people in the clan will be killed without mercy. Queen Medusa said, and an unrivaled Xeon emanated from it. Don't go in a hurry. When you're tidying up the interior, take it slow when it's over. Next, let's figure it out first. The Xuanling royal family invaded our Medusa family without authorization. How should we fight back? The next moment, Queen Medusa sat directly on the purple crystal throne, and at this time, there was also a trace of anger in Cailin's pupils. My king Shengming, the Xuanling royal family is too arrogant, they must be given a good look. The Snake King was overjoyed when he heard this. The Snake King has long been disliked by the Xuanling royal family. If it wasn't for the lack of strength, he was afraid of the strong immortal fighting in the Xuanling royal family. I am afraid that many tribes of the Medusa family would have joined forces to attack, but now it is different. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 881. I don't know the queen. What should we do? The Snake King asked first. Although the 9 major tribes of Medusa were indeed afraid of the Xuanling royal family possessing a strong fighting immortal, they did not dare to take action, but now that they have Queen Medusa's color scales, they are no longer afraid. Although we and the Xuanling royal family are already on par with the top battle strength, I think there must be a reason for the Xuanling royal family to stand in Xuanchen for so many years. Cailin Dai said with a slight wrinkle. It is said that the strong fighting immortals of the Xuanling royal family is the father of the current Xuanling king, that is, the previous Xuanling king, and his strength should be at the mid-level of a star fighting immortals. At this time, Shefu said, if it is in the middle stage of 1-star fighting immortals, I have enough confidence to deal with it, and maybe I can kill it. Cailin heard the words and opened his mouth slightly. It's natural. The queen is already a 1-star Do Xian with the perfect strength, so it's no problem to deal with the Xuanling royal family's Do Xian. But from what I've seen over the years, it seems that the Xuanling royal family has some connections not only with Solomon, but also with the Soul clan. Shefu spoke slowly. Shefu's experience and information naturally know a lot. Soul clan? Cailin frowned upon hearing this. Obviously, this extremely familiar name made Cailin unforgettable in her life. That's right, it's that very special race. The power of this race spreads all over the Duty Sifang continent. Although the base camp is not in our Xuanling continent, the general person in charge of their Soul clan here is a genuine Do Xian powerhouse. The strength should be in the late stage of 1-star fighting immortal. As for Solomon, the strongest person is Solomon's sect master, the half-immortal strength, so don't worry too much. Shefu said, the half-immortal is nothing to talk about, but if it is a middle stage 1-star fighting fairy and a late 1-star fighting fairy, it will be a bit tricky. Cailin also realized that the Xuanling royal family was not easy to deal with, and immediately spoke. In addition to this, the Xuanling royal family has 3 armies whose strength cannot be underestimated. The Tiger Tooth Army, the Wolf Eagle Army and the Dragon Loving Army. Among them, the strength of the Hoya Legion is mostly the powerhouses above the 5-star Do D, and there are hundreds of people. The Wolf Eagle Legion has fewer people than the Hoya Legion, but most of them are actually above the 6-star Do-D. As for the Dragon Addiction Legion, although there are only 10 people, their strength is basically close to the level of the 8-star Do Emperor, and even the 9-star Do Emperor has a few people, so it should not be underestimated. The blue and white snake on the side also said, "How is the power among the 8 major tribes of Medusa now?" Cailin asked slightly after hearing this. "Not counting you, Queen, excluding the powerful Xuanling royal family fighting immortals, it is extremely simple for our Medusa family to defeat them." Shefu smiled. "In that case, let's go down and prepare. When we are ready, we will attack the Xuanling royal family. This time, I will let the Xuanling royal family know the power of our Medusa family." Cailin said, "Yes." When the other 8 leaders heard the words, they immediately aroused a burst of gratitude. They knew that from now on, the Medusa clan might stand in the Xuanling 3 days. "Sister Cailin, are you going to fight?" Qingyan on the side heard the words and opened her mouth slightly. Obviously, Cailin treated their 2 daughters like a loving mother, making her daughters reluctant to part with her. "Don't worry, sister will be fine. It's the 2 of you, you 2 little fellows, you can't fall behind in your cultivation. Otherwise, big sister will teach you a lesson when she comes back." After the 8 leaders left, Cailin said to the 2 little guys with a smile on her face. And the 2 little guys are also very sensible, and directly followed the blue and white snake to practice. At this time, only Shefu and Cailin were left in the hall. "Old snake, you've worked hard," Cailin said slightly, not knowing what she was thinking. "The hard work is the queen." Shefu smiled slightly. At Shefu's age, he didn't value strength and other things for a long time, and he only valued making the Medusa family stronger. "Old snake, I need all the information about the Soul Clan in Xuanling City, including the news about the person in charge of the Soul Clan. I'm going to meet him." Cailin still couldn't help saying. Although I don't know why, Cailin always felt that the mystery of the Xiao clan might have something to do with the Soul Clan. Now Xiaoyan's strength is still relatively weak. As Xiaoyan's virtuous internal assistant, he has the responsibility to help him. "Queen, this matter is difficult to handle, but I will try my best." Shefu hesitated for a while, obviously puzzled by Cailin's approach. A newly appointed queen, Shefu is ready to give her full support. The old man will retire first, and the queen has a good rest. It is estimated that in a few days, the strength of the Medusa family will be ready, and then it will be time to take revenge on the Xuanling royal family. Shefu finished speaking and slowly disappeared here. Every time I see Qingyan's 2 little guys, I miss Xiao a little bit. I don't know, the little guy is okay now. Among Cailin's cold brows, there was tenderness like water at this time. "Xiaoyan, this time, when the affairs of my Medusa clan are over, and your Burning Incense Pavilion sect competition is over, let's leave here. I feel a little homesick." After Cailin finished speaking, she sat on the throne slightly, closing her eyes and resting. "It's just that I don't know what the tyrannical Queen Medusa in the past will look like when she learns of the many women around Xiaoyan now. How are things going?" In Xuanling 3 days, in an unknown mountain range, in a rather dilapidated house, 2 figures slowly appeared here. One of them was dark and strange. The figure asked, "Chief in charge, the Xuanling royal family doesn't know why this time. They didn't give us a chance at all. It seems that they don't want to cooperate with us." Another figure said, "Oh, why is the Xuanling royal family? To cooperate with our Soul Clan, we collect souls, and they collect resources and fame and fortune. Haven't they been good all the time? Why is this Xuanling royal family?" The figure called the chief officer said, "Could it be Solomon?" Another asked, "Impossible. Sect Master Solomon's strength is only a mere half immortal. King Xuanling and his father are not that stupid yet," said the person in charge of the Soul Clan. "It seems that the Xuanling royal family should have found a backer stronger than us." "Interesting. You go back and ask the headquarters to send an immortal warrior. I always feel that something interesting will happen in Xuanling City." After finishing speaking, the head of the Soul Clan slowly laughed. "Yes." Hearing the words, the figure swept out and headed towards the edge of the Xuanling continent, obviously going to another continent. "King Xuanling, and your father, you are really interesting. However, what my Soul Clan needs is only the power of the soul. Let you be a strong backer. I am afraid that you will never imagine that the Soul Clan is strong. This time, our Soul Clan will sit on the mountain and watch the tiger fight, and let's collect our souls quietly." Ha ha ha. After finishing speaking, the person in charge of the Soul Clan laughed strangely, but the figure under the black robe was somewhat illusory. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 882. Burning Incense Pavilion's highest standard conference room. Damn, didn't you say the plan was carried out with the ruins? Why are the ruins over? We haven't started action yet. Let's not talk about saving Yanqi if this goes on. I'm afraid that guy will be in danger. Ling Mengsheng, the master of the Temple of the Earth who was sitting in it, said quite depressedly. Haha, Mengsheng, this matter is not urgent. Originally, we really wanted to enter while the Xuanling royal family coveted the ruins. Do Sol dispatched other strong men, but the pavilion master came to the news. Let us wait quietly, something should have happened. Zhu Jin said slightly, what can happen? The devil of the Xuanling royal family, if it blocks the way, just kill them all. Why do you need such trouble? Ling Mengsheng's hatred for the Xuanling royal family can be described as a revenge for killing his wife, which is unforgettable. Mengsheng, we know your hardships, but saving Yanqi is very important, so don't be careless. We only have one chance, so we must be fully prepared. And since the pavilion owner asked us to wait, then the pavilion owner will naturally have a solution. Zhu Lao Zaidu said, Fen Tian, that guy, I don't know what he's doing. After hearing this, Ling Mengsheng sat down slightly and waited quietly. The ruins are over. I don't know why Xiao Yan and Mu Yingying haven't come back. Mu Shuji on the side opened his mouth slightly, obviously worried about the two disciples in their hall. This time, there are a few incredible disciples from your human palace. The old man on the side laughed when he heard the words. Obviously, when Xiao Yan broke the cultivation record in the Burning Incense Pavilion and obtained the treasure of the human palace, this guy was doomed to be extraordinary. Hey, you Heaven Palace and Earth Palace have been arrogant for so many years, and the feng shui turns, and it should be our turn. Mu Shuji smiled slowly. Obviously he was extremely satisfied with Xiao Yan, and wanted to come to Zong in the near future. It can shine in the door competition. I don't know where the pavilion master is now? Ling Mengsheng saw everyone talking and laughing, so he opened his mouth. And following Rui Musheng's words, the others all looked at Zhu Jin who was sitting next to him with doubts on their faces. Above the first place, a seat is clearly vacated, and I don't know who it is reserved for. Zhu Jin didn't say anything, just stared into the distance, as if expecting something. After a while, a fiery red figure suddenly appeared in the distance. The aura on the fiery red figure is extremely obscure, but extremely powerful, giving everyone an elusive feeling. Pavilion Master, are you back? Zhu Jin said directly as he watched the fiery red figure come to the top. Well, I'm back. I went to investigate the news. Fenxiang said, at this time, there are some outstanding people present here, and they are also all the people who participated in this rescue plan for Yan Kai. Everyone is here, right? Fen Tian sat down slightly, then glanced around, and found that there were not only Mu Shuji, the deputy head of the Human Palace, Ling Mengsheng, the deputy head of the Earth Palace, and Qing Lao, the deputy head of the Tian Palace. In addition to Zhu Jin and the two elders of heaven and earth who have been silent, there are a total of 7 people. Most of the backbones in the Burning Incense Pavilion now, after all, although saving Yan Kai is of great importance, but for the sake of the sect, the entire army must not be attacked, and some strong people must be left to guard. Well, there are a few people who have been waiting in Xuanling City for a long time, just waiting for us to go over. Zhu Jin smiled. According to the latest news I got, it seems that the dragon-loving army in the Xuanling royal family has disappeared. Fen Tian said impatiently with his fiery red hair. Dragonophile Legion disappeared? Impossible? Qin Tian of the Dragon-Loving Legion is already a powerhouse at the pinnacle of Do Di, who can kill the entire legion quietly. Hearing Fen Tian's exit, Ling Mengsheng stood up directly. But it is clear, the strength of the Dragon-Loving Legion, I am afraid that as powerful as Fenshin, it is impossible to kill them in an instant. Dragonophile Legion gone? It is said that the relationship between the Dragon Addiction Legion and the Xuanling King has not been very good. Qing Lao heard the words and said immediately, so from my looks, it doesn't look like it was obliterated. Therefore, I also took a look at the soul cards of the Xuanling royal family. Their soul cards were not broken. Fen Tian said. Listening to Fen Tian's understatement, everyone was extremely surprised. The place where Xuanling's royal soul cards are stored, You don't need to think about it, you know that it is a place full of dangers. Fen Tian actually wants to go there. This strength is too terrifying. My current strength has surpassed that of a 2-star Do Xian, but in order to confuse people, this time I will only use the perfection level of a 1-star Do Xian. Fen Tian thought for a while and then said, 1-star Do Xian is complete and 2-star Do Xian is completely different. It is precisely because of the sudden disappearance of the dragon-loving legion that we don't know why it disappeared, so for the integrity of the plan, we can only postpone the plan. However, according to my information, King Xuanling seems to have sent the dragon-loving legion to the ruins. Perhaps their disappearance is related to the ruins. And isn't it so easy in the ruins, so the dragon-loving legion should be entangled in the ruins. Zhu Jin said, in that case, the Xuanling royal family lacks the huge power of the dragon-loving legion, which is a good thing for us to come. Ling Mingsheng laughed immediately after hearing this. The overall strength of the dragon-loving legion is too strong. If they are there, I am afraid that this plan will have a great change, but if they are not in the Xuanling royal family, then for Fen Tian and his party, the obstruction will be reduced to a minimum. Although the dragon-loving legion is not in the Xuanling royal family, we have to be fully prepared. Yanqi wants to save, but none of you can have any loss. Do you understand? Fen Tian said coldly. Everyone here is the elite of Fenxiang Pavilion. If something happened, Fenshin would be heartbroken. Understood. Several people heard the words and nodded secretly. They all knew the seriousness of this incident. Now, you can leave. Set off. Let's go to Xuanling City to meet them first, and let's talk about the details later. After Fen Tian finished speaking, everyone hid their auras, and immediately disguised themselves as very ordinary people, and even their appearances had undergone tremendous changes. As soon as Fen Tian's voice fell, the 5 of them left the Fenxiang Pavilion silently and went to Xuanling City. However, several energy clones were left in the Burning Incense Pavilion by Zhu Jin's ingenious means. Because according to the information they got, Yan Kai seems to be imprisoned in the deepest part of the underground palace of the Xuanling royal family. And to enter the underground palace of the Xuanling royal family, which is heavily guarded, one must enter from Xuanling City, which is why so many people have plans. And with the departure of everyone, it means that the battle that is enough to stir up the entire Zon Santian will also start slowly. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 883. Fen Tian and his party quietly left the Fenxiang Pavilion and headed to Xuanling City. Strange, the smell of the old guys in the Fenxiang Pavilion seems to be weak and strong recently. What are they doing? Among the Xuanling royal family, King Xuanling sat on the throne and spoke slightly. My king, the last breath of the dragon-loving legion's people should be in a barren land. After a while, Wen Zi pushed in the door and said to King Xuanling, it seems that Qin Tian is not willing to be ordinary. According to the description of Solomon's sluggish aura coming out of the ruins and the origin of the blood demon, the fighting spirit should have been captured by Qin Tian. This old immortal didn't bring back the fighting spirit, perhaps with the intention of devouring it himself. King Xuanling said with extreme resentment. Wen Zi, send people to the wasteland, be sure to find them. The fighting spirit must not be absorbed by Qin Tian. If he is really absorbed, I am afraid that even if he is dead, he will have to spit it out for me. King Xuanling said hideously. Yes. Wen Zi responded and went down immediately. In the underground palace, what the asterisk is my asterisk father doing? Xuanling Emperor was also extremely depressed at this time. Ever since his father abdicated to become a sage, he has been guarding the 7th floor of the underground palace. The 7th floor of the underground palace is suppressing Sheng Yan, Yan Kai. If it wasn't for thousands of years, they didn't find a way to devour the holy flame. I'm afraid that the holy flame would have been swallowed by it long ago. And where is our idiot Xuanling royal ancestor? But it was sealed by Medusa's petrified pupil. The mother of the fairy Bodhi tree on the 6th floor, the Gorfine base camp on the 5th floor, and Ling Mingsheng's lover Zan Muqing on the 4th floor. King Xuanling murmured in a low voice. At this time, in the underground palace, there is a shadow on the 4th floor. The shadow is also bound and lost, but if Ling Ming is here again, you will naturally know that this is the wife that he thinks about day and night. What? As for the 5th floor of the underground palace, it is airtight here, but the aura inside is extremely evil. Many figures are in deep sleep, and there are many strong blood demons. On the 6th floor of the underground palace, This is the place where the mother of the fairy Bodhi tree is stored. On the 7th floor of the underground palace, in addition to Xuanling, the father of King Xuanling, there is also the powerful ghost from the ghost world. The existence of this ghost immortal is extremely mysterious, hidden by Elder Zan, so even King Xuanling doesn't know about it. Hey, old man Zan, this holy flame is really thorny. I don't know how you are going to deal with it, said the ghost fairy. In this way, I naturally have a way. You just need to stay here for enough time. As for the reward, I will naturally give it to you. Zan Lao said with a calm expression. Our 3 major ghost immortals, 2 of which are trying to attack you, Zan Sansan, and the first to rule Zan Sansan, you have to be careful. Guishan said gloomily. Elder Zan nodded slightly when he heard the words, but he obviously didn't care about these things. The next moment, he cast his eyes on the chains that sealed Yan Kai. Even if this holy flame has been guarded for hundreds of years, there is no way to devour it. I am afraid that only the Xuanling King's method, with the help of the power of swallowing the cold blood of the swallowing python, weakens the holy flame, and there is such a chance. After a while, his eyes were fixed on a silver statue swallowed by darkness. The statue was covered with moss, but it couldn't hide the horror of the statue at all. Thinking about the peak period of the statue, he was also a superpower. Shaking his head, the reason why Elder Zan is guarding here is naturally because of the ancestors of the Xuanling royal family and the holy flame who were sealed by Medusa's petrified pupil. The power of these 2, even if it absorbs either of them, is a huge increase for me, but... After Elder Zan finished speaking, his eyes darkened. And in Xuanling City, at this time, it was also heavily guarded for unknown reasons. Master. In Xuanling City, in an elegant garden in the auction house, a man in black wrapped all over said directly to the woman in front of him. The woman is like a stunner, and as expected, extremely thin clothes can't hide her skin that can be broken by bullets. The woman's red lips moved slightly. Speak. Dark Knight Ghost Immortal, one of the 3 great ghost immortals, has already acted. The man in black said respectfully. What? Dark Knight Ghost Immortal, this asterisk fellow. Actually ahead of schedule. Blood Rose heard the words and snorted coldly, her voice mixed with abnormal anger. In the ghost world, there are many strong people, but these 3 ghost immortals are teaming up to devour Zan Santian. Since the 3 have joined forces, they must have reached some consensus. Therefore, the attack on Zan Santian must be done after the sect competition. After all, the sect competition will greatly weaken Xuanxin's strength, which will be beneficial to their future battles. What's going on with the Tomb Digger Ghost Immortal and Qianying Ghost Immortal? Blood Rose continued. The 2 of them are not moving at the moment, but they are also mobilizing their strong men. The man in black continued. I see. Let's go. Blood Rose snorted coldly, and immediately sent the intelligence spy of the men in black away. Dark Knight Ghost Immortal has always been not so fancy about these things. The reason why he entered Zan Sansan in advance is probably because of the help of a certain fighting immortal in Zan Sansan, otherwise the seal that seals Ghost Realm and Zan Sansan. Not so easy to break. I don't know who is the immortal fighting powerhouse who offered the sky-high price to make the ghosts of the Dark Knight move. Shui Chengwei couldn't help but said slowly, with a hint of sneer at the corner of her mouth. It's getting more and more interesting. After Blood Rose finished speaking, she slowly disappeared into the auction hall. And at this time, beyond the 3 days of Zan, the ghost world. What? That guy in the Dark Knight has entered Zan Sansan? In a desolate cemetery, among a tombstone, the tomb digger exclaimed in surprise. My lord, I don't know why the Dark Knight Ghost Immortal didn't keep the promise and entered Xuanling Santian in advance. The Dark Crow Ghost Emperor, who was standing at the tomb digging Ghost Immortal, said helplessly. The entrance of the ghost world to Zan Santian is extremely well sealed. If it wasn't for a strong human being to fight immortals, I'm afraid this guy in the Dark Knight would not have entered so easily. Look at Qianying a little, and if he has any movement, tell me immediately. Tomb Digger Ghost Immortal thought for a while, and then spoke. Sir, are we ready to enter Xuanling Santian? The Dark Crow Ghost Emperor tried to ask. Naturally there are people who are more anxious than us. After the tomb-digging Ghost Immortal finished speaking, he smiled maliciously. Obviously, one of the 3 Ghost Immortals, the one who is most stubborn towards Zan Santian is Qianying Ghost Immortal. As expected, Xuanling City directly dispatched his strong men to try to open the seal in advance. However, no matter how anxious Xuanling City is, the entrance to the seal is guarded by strong human beings and cannot be opened for a short period of time. End of this chapter. Continuing from the previous episode 884. Squeak. At this time, in a fairly quiet wooden house in Xuanling City, several familiar voices slowly appeared here. Junior Earth Hall Zheng Zhen. I've seen all the seniors. A well-proportioned man slowly pushed open the door, then looked at the many strong men in the wooden house, and immediately opened his mouth. Sit anywhere, family, you're welcome. Fen Tian sat in the center of the wooden house and said directly. At this time, in the wooden house, there are two old people of heaven and earth, Ling Mengsheng, the master of the Earth Hall, Qing Lao, the deputy head of the Heaven Hall, Mu Shuji, the deputy head of the Human Hall, plus Fen Tian and Zhu Jin. There are a total of 7 people. How's it going? Seeing Zheng Zhen coming in from this hall, many strong people couldn't help but say. This Zheng Zhen is impressively the details of how the burning incense pavilion broke into the Xuanling Imperial House. Pavilion Master, with my ability, I only know that there are at least 2 immortal fighters on the 7th floor of the underground palace. One is a powerhouse in the early stage of 1-star fighting immortal who was invited by the Xuanling royal family at a high price, and guards the 6th floor of the underground palace. It seems that there is a price that makes people jealous in the 6th floor, so the Xuanling royal family did not hesitate to at the price. We sent out fighting immortals to guard. And the 7th floor is guarded by the father of the current King Xuanling, Elder Zan, and his strength has reached the middle stage of the 1-star fighting immortal. Zheng Zhen said solemnly to the people in front of him. If you are a 1-star Do Xian in the early stage and a 1-star Do Xian in the middle stage, I alone are enough, but I just don't know the relationship between the Xuanling royal family and Solomon or other forces. Fen Tian opened his mouth slightly after hearing the words. Do not know. The Xuanling royal family's attitude towards Solomon has changed drastically recently, so it will no longer have anything to do with Solomon. But according to my guess, the Xuanling royal family should have found a stronger partner than Solomon. Zheng Zhen thought for a while, then spoke. What about the other powers in the underground palace? The 2 elders of heaven and earth said at this time. As for their strength here, the weakest is also Mu Shuji, who has an 8-star Do Emperor consummation. As for the young and old, he is also a strong person who has stepped into the realm of rank 9. In the face of a semi-immortal strong man, he can also deal with it for a while without any problem. There are also Zhu Jin with the strength of a half-immortal and Fen Tian with the strength of a 2-star fighting immortal. The underground palace is intricate, even I know not many. But according to our current strength, if there is no accident, there should be no problem in rescuing Yanqi. Zheng Zhen said, in that case, let's go. When the time comes, adapt accordingly. Fen Tian also knew that Fenxiang Pavilion had already dispatched a lot of power at this time. If even the small underground palace of Xuanling royal family could not break through, it would be too much of a joke. Let's go, I'll take you. Zheng Zhen said, and then he directly said. Following Zheng Zhen's exit, everyone at the top of the incense pavilion nodded slightly. This guy Zheng Zhen is definitely trustworthy. After all, this guy was cultivated by the strong people in the Fenxiang Pavilion, and now his strength has reached the level of the initial stage of the 8-star Do Emperor. GGG. Zheng Zhen left the wooden house and immediately transformed himself into a high-ranking official, while Fen Tian and his group, after a simple transformation, became unrecognizable by others. Stop. With so many people around Zheng Zhen, it would inevitably lead to misunderstandings by others. When Zheng Zhen came to the gate of the underground palace, the guard called directly to Zheng Zhen. As for Fen Tian, the powerhouse, although he noticed that the strongest guard here is only at the level of the 7-star Do Emperor, but this place is very close to the Xuanling royal family, and it is also the entrance to the underground palace. Is there any powerhouse secretly hiding? Hidden, so there is no rush to do it. General Feng, what's up? Even my people have to be stopped? Zheng Zhen immediately laughed when he heard the words, but when Zheng Zhen said the 3 words General Feng, his voice increased significantly. It turned out to be Lord Zheng. The man who was called General Feng by Zheng Zhen heard the words and laughed instantly. His original seriousness disappeared immediately. It is no wonder that General Feng is like this. He is at best a thug of the Xuanling royal family, but Zheng Zhen in front of him is different. This guy is not only young, but also outstanding in strength and appearance. He is deeply loved by Xuanling King. Doted on, and King Xuanling's little princess is also very close to him, so the future is naturally unlimited, and General Feng does not dare to offend this character if he has 10 courage. I don't know why Master Zheng came here today. General Feng glanced at so many people behind him, and immediately couldn't help but ask. At the will of my king, come to the underground palace to take something. Zheng Zhen lowered his voice slightly and said in a tone that only General Feng could hear. It doesn't take so many people to fetch things. General Feng was shocked. Although the strength of the people in front of him was mediocre, General Feng's intuition for many years, these people are definitely not simple. The thing is a bit big, so my king just sent me some people to carry it. Zheng Zhen seemed to have expected it a long time ago, and he said it without hesitation. Master Zheng, Xuanling City is in a troubled season recently. You can enter alone, these people. I can't put it on, I'm sorry. General Feng hesitated for a while, and said directly through gritted teeth. Zheng Zhen in front of him really couldn't afford to offend him, but if he let these people in rashly, I'm afraid something went wrong, and his fate would be. Don't worry, I won't embarrass you. Zheng Zhen didn't want to get angry with General Feng. After all, he knew that General Feng also acted impartially. Here. Not much. Zheng Zhen took out a golden token directly from the palm of his hand. Above the token, there is a slowly surrounding golden color, and above the golden token, a conspicuous mysterious character stands quietly. As soon as the token came out, General Feng's face became extremely strange. It's actually King Xuanling's gold medal. General Feng was extremely shocked. The group of them is to serve King Xuanling, and King Xuanling said that seeing this token is like seeing King Xuanling himself. Hey, Master Zheng, everyone, please. After a while, General Feng said with a smile. Since this group has the token of King Xuanling in their hands, there must be no suspicion and they will let them go. Zheng Zhen directly led the group into the underground palace, but when everyone was about to enter the underground palace, Fen Tian, who had changed his face, suddenly gave a weird laugh. Strange, the token that flashed just now is clearly King Xuanling's gold medal. What's wrong? General Feng shook his head, and then started to patrol slowly, and Fen Tian and his party went well into the underground palace. End of this chapter.